It's commonly said that there's no early Quranic manuscripts from the first century after Hijrah by Christian critics of Islam, etc. That's false. The Quran is not only preserved by by oral and memorization techniques, but the Quran is preserved by manuscript, by early manuscripts as well. Check this out. So we have very early Quranic manuscripts from the first century that match today's Quran. What do we have for the New Testament? We have P52, which is like barely a size of a credit card that doesn't even formulate a full sentence of the New Testament. But we have full manuscripts of the Quran, as you see in these pages, that not only contain full text of the Quran, but are early manuscripts, but are very early manuscripts dated to at least 50 to 70 years after the death of the Prophet Muhammad. So the Quran is preserved by manuscript form way better than the New Testament is preserved by manuscript form, as you don't get complete New Testament books until at least the 3rd and 4th century. You don't get like the full Gospel of Mark until the 3rd and 4th century. You get full Quranic manuscripts, which have a majority of the Quranic text, like 70 to 80, 70 to 90, 70 to 99% of the Quranic text within a few years after the death of the Prophet Muhammad, which was canonized by him. So this book, I would recommend buying this book, The History of the Quranic Text, where not only does he talk about the Quran manuscripts and the preservation of the Quran manuscripts, but he talks about the New Testament manuscripts and how badly the New Testament, the original autographs of the New Testament, were lost over time. I mean, we have very little fragment. We have fragment manuscripts of the New Testament, and there's places where we don't even know what the original autograph New Testament books actually said because there are so many alterations. In this book, Mustafa al-Azami proves that the manuscripts we have of today's Quran matches early Quranic manuscripts. So there was no alterations and additions or subtractions to the text of the Quran. So the Quran we have today matches what the Prophet Muhammad was preaching and what his disciples or what his companions what his companions had as manuscripts.